Hey, here we go once again. Setting it straight with fam. And I got my boy Joshua here today. We're going to go ahead on and bring some news for you guys. You know, we still in that training camp period. That training camp is still going on. We got some good things, and we got some not so good things. But we're going to cover it today because, just like them Dallas Cowboys, man, we love making the news. If we don't do nothing else, we don't make the news. Just wait for us. We're coming. We're coming. One way or the other. But we're going to talk about some more of this offensive line and what we do. You know, we're going to pick up from what we did last week and see how it worked. All right, Joshua. Okay, now look at it. This is what we were doing. We were talking about all of our O-line yesterday. Last week. You know, we were talking about our wide receivers, but more so than anything, we were talking about the Tyler Guyton, the Tyler Smith, the Cooper Beebe, the Tyler Bookers of the worlds, and the Terrence Steeles, ladies and gentlemen. And we were talking about how these things was going to come to pass, should I say, of how the training camp going, how we're going to get into this offseason, how we're going to get into the season, how these things we going to carry over, and what we're going to look like. And I know you guys are talking about, you and Jordan were talking about the cornerbacks of what we have and who we're going to go with, day one, who we're going to go with starting, and who going to be our secondary, and who should we get rid of? Well, all of these different things, who going to make the cut? But there's some interesting things that you were telling me about earlier that you were bringing to my attention that I did not know about the O line and how your boy Cooper Beebe was, his thing. I'm gonna let you go ahead on to talk about that and how you would, how the trainer and what they thought about Cooper Beebe and your thoughts in with, if he get the right things, how will he be this season? Because we definitely going to need him to pull his weight, what I'm saying? Because the boy is strong. Like you were telling me, you say, Dad, he's strong. He's strong. But go ahead on and tell me what's going on with Cooper Beebe. Go ahead and tell me what you heard. Go ahead.
All right, so there's this I forgot what this guy's name was.
Duke?
Who he No, who interviewed Duke. So before I get to the person that interviewed Duke, so let me get in contact, or let me give you the rundown of Duke Manyweather. So for all of you who don't know about Duke Manyweather, he's pretty much the O line guru. I don't even want to say for the Dallas Cowboys. He's the O line guru for the entire NFL, from like the Cowboys to like Lane Johnson to people on the Packers. Like a lot of people come together, right, and go to this guy's camp. He's the guy that, like, in the off season, like if you talk about like the O line guru, talk offensive gurus, like the head coach for the Rams, or you talk about like the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who's offensive guru on the team, but or or Ben Johnson, who's headed over to another team. But this guy outside of the NFL, he's the guru for O linemen. He's the guy that makes all the O linemen better. It's not just because of the fact that he has all these works on fundamental techniques, but he does this get together, his symposium or this retreat. Where all the O line is like maybe a day or two get together and they work on like how you can get better. It started back in like 2018, 2017 with Lane Johnson, and they were like, man, this is actually good. Like after he worked with Duke Manyweather, he was like, he was so much better, like all pro or whatever like that. And don't get me wrong, Lane Johnson's always been a great offensive lineman, but we're talking about like his footwork was better, his hand placement was better, and they were like, hey, we got to do more of this. And so Duke Manyweather definitely fed off of that. He got his own place, his own studio, if you will, and all these O line came in. He was working with them. They got better. Zach Martin has been working with him for a while. He's gotten better. Tyler Smith has gotten with him. He's gotten better from year one, from rookie year to the next rookie year. I mean, as as bad as Tyler Guyton was, right? As unpolished as Tyler Guyton was, he could have been a lot worse if he wasn't going to Duke Manyweather, right, to work on the fundamentals. Cooper Beebe was also there to work with Duke Manyweather, right? And so if you guys watch Vox Lombardi or whatever like that, he's been known to say like, man, like why is Cooper Beebe playing like a guard or whatever like that. So there was an interview, or this was last year. There was an interview last a couple of days ago with Duke Manyweather, and he was talking about like how pretty much promoting his company, promoting his symposium, if you will, his gathering, and he was pretty much doing that, but he also took time to talk about a lot of the Dallas Cowboys because pretty much Duke Manyweather is pretty much down the street from like the Dallas Cowboys anyway, so these guys go to him anyway. So he was talking about how much better Tyler Guyton was going to get. He's uh unpolished, if you will, but and he has fundamentals he has to go to. There's no beef going on with him and Tyler Guyton. Everything's all good. So despite whatever rumors you heard, everything's good with that. Um, and he was just going down the road like, hey, like Tyler Guyton's like it's up to him to get better, but he is putting in the work to get better during off season. I'm seeing him all the time, working on his handwork or whatever like that. Like, and then this is even crazier as opposed to last year, right? The offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys actually worked with Duke Manyweather and like they got together and they were like, hey, these are the stuff that each O lineman has to work on. If you can, they collaborated. Like, if you can just get these guys better, this is what I need you to work on during the off season. So when they come to training camp, they're that much further along. And see, this is what the collaboration you want for. You want people, you want this guys, because you know that these guys are going to go to him. So might as well just include him into like the whole entire, progression of the O lineman. But there's something interesting that he said about Cooper Beebe that was crazy to me. Crazy to me was that pretty much Cooper Beebe wasn't getting any instruction at all when it came to how should you say to being a center. Because let's remember, Cooper Beebe was a guard before he became a center for the Dallas Cowboys. He pretty much was a guard for his collegiate. I know he was like all over the O line. He was a tackle, center, guard, but he was mostly 90% a guard for his collegiate year or for his collegiate time. While he was in college, and so it was kind of crazy. You go from a guard because to a center, right? And you would think that Mike Solari last year was going to be like, hey, this is how you transition from a guard to a center. Like, because remember, you have to like work with your offhand, right? When it comes to after you snap the ball and getting your hand placement. That wasn't the case at all. Like, pretty much, he didn't give any instruction at all. Mike Solari didn't, and so all the instruction that he got as a center was with Duke Manyweather in the off season, and a lot of people were saying it was he was doing pretty well due to his strength, right?
Mm.
So it just amazing that uh, he played as well as he did, even without the proper instruction from the O line coach last year. So you can only imagine what he's going to be this year. But something dawned on me too, right?
Okay. Well, what
This
you got?
something dawned on me. If Cooper Beebe wasn't getting that much instruction as a center, how much do you think Tyler Guyton was getting instruction as the left tackle?
Well, that is a real good thought. I would think the same amount. I would think it would be the same amount of instructions that
So
that Cooper Beebe was getting, but which means to your point, which means that Guyton probably could have gotten, could have done a lot better had he received any proper instructions this year. Because right now, I guess which I don't know if this is what you're getting at, but I'm guessing you're getting that they kind of left that dude on the island by himself, and because he's not as strong as BB, all of those imperfections was going to be, and where he is playing against those Pro Bowlers, he's going to be lost out there. So I don't know if that's what you're getting at or what.
I think so. I think something tells me that Mike Solari didn't really like Tyler Guyton as a pick.
Wow.
Something tells me that
Wow.
because he was praising Brock Hoffman's of the world, the TJ Basses of the world,
Right.
the Chuma Adogas of the world, right? Because let's be honest, right?
Okay.
Uh, Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe wasn't even playing on first team during the start of training camp last year. They were on the
Wow.
third/fourth team.
Wow.
You can contribute it to all as like, oh, they're trying to learn the plays. But guess what? You can also try to learn the plays as a first team. So what's the difference between the third and fourth and the first and second?
Wow.
Like you want to get these guys as acclimated as possible. And so now they were playing with third and 14 for half the training camp. And then all of a sudden they went to the first team. And then let's not even get me started on what Tyler Guyton had to go through. So yes, I still have my reservations on Tyler Guyton. Don't
Okay.
get me wrong.
Okay.
Until proven otherwise, I I'm still gonna go with what I see less because that's the type of person who I am. Like I go
Yeah.
with history.
Yeah.
So,
And he
but
did not do good. Right. Go ahead.
no, not at all, not at all. Right. But I will say this. With that being said,
Okay.
I would not be surprised if Tyler Guyton is a lot better than
Last year.
last year. I would not be surprised if it's a night and day difference. And the night and day difference is not like a Pro Bowl. Like I'm not or a All Pro. Excuse me. I'm not expecting him to play like an All Pro or whatever like that. If he plays like an All Pro, then Dallas Cowboys, pat yourself on the back because you had it right the whole time, and we were not believers, and we should have thought about 2025 instead of 2024, right? Not polished. But I will say this: I do believe that there is a possibility that he can be like an average, at least for right now, because
Left
this is going to be
tackle.
his first year with proper average left tackle this year, which is okay because you have Dak Prescott, right? But you want Dak Prescott to be able to trust his O lineman to at least rip that ball off, like give him an extra 0.5 seconds to rip that ball off if it's
Right. And
a deep
keep him
route.
standing. Right.
Exactly. You don't want to also have to, you know, pulling, drifting from the right or the left. Like there's going to be motions like all these, how should I say, all these, uh, excuse me, all these, O linemen and offensive players saying there's going to be a lot of splits, a lot of motion, and everything like that. But you want him to be so confident. So when he's running, when he's throwing a deep post to like CD Lamb or throwing a go route to not CD Lamb to George Pickens, you want to have enough time, not enough time for him to throw the ball, but enough time for uh, the how should I say the wide receiver to get to their spot to where he can actually rip it. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I guess both ways too. So,
Well,
but
I mean,
um,
you're right though. But before I get to I'm gonna stay where you are at right now, and then I'm gonna get back to what you said earlier, which kind of is alarming to me that I was like, wow, what you said here. But speaking on Guyton, about the timing of for Dak. Dak is a quarterback that like to throw when you open. You know, he's when you open, he give it to you at all time. But with George Pickens, what I'm saying, and CD, I mean, those guys can probably get open a little quicker. Probably, that's going to help Guyton. Hopefully, that those guys are not the ones who can't get separation from their defense. Um, backs, right? So hopefully that's it, hopefully they will help Guyton. Don't that uh, um, Dak don't have to hold the ball that much longer than he was because we really didn't have that level of talent on the receiver side before we had George Pickens on one and then CeeDee Lamb on the other side. So I mean we are coming back with some preemie premier, should I say it, some receivers now. So that's good right there. But what got my attention, you said you didn't think that the O line coach really liked. You don't think they like Guyton as much. That says a lot, and that kind of worries me. But that says a lot. That that's that's saying a lot. That you said you don't think they liked him. That's not cool being
Yeah,
an O line coach.
I don't think they had as much. I wouldn't say like, but I don't think that they were expecting to start him, if you will, because they were speaking. This is an old regime because you have
Right.
Mike Solari now and you have Connor Riley this year, right? Connor Riley's a very good. Like his pedigree is night and day when it comes to Mike Solari, at least.
Well, that's
So
good.
the thing is this is that because you heard him like and maybe I'm reading it wrong, and I could definitely be reading it wrong,
You
but
definitely could be
all I'm
reading it
saying is
right.
this.
But go ahead.
Yeah, but anytime that they talked about last year to Mike Solari about the O lineman, he would always be like, "Yeah, these guys are doing good, but don't forget about Chuma Edoga. Don't forget about Brock Hoffman. Like they're doing actually really good. They're doing
Wow.
really good. Like
Okay.
like
Right.
these are actually really strong players and stuff like that. You know, and then if you kind of read in between the lines, I don't think Tyler Guyton was supposed to start last year.
Well, maybe,
I I
maybe
think
Salah.
Chuma Doga was going to start if it wasn't for his wasn't for his injury.
Well. Put it this way: that too can be true, and it's also, when you're a coach and somebody's focusing on what's bad on your line, um, you may just want to point out the good things on your line just so you can get a job next year. You know what I'm saying? So he could be putting his name out there just to say I'm not as bad as Guyton is playing right now. You know what I'm saying? It's the way he's playing is not me, it's him. That kind of thing. Because look at these other guys over here that's doing absolutely great things, right? So I don't know. You could take it in so many different ways. He could be campaigning. He didn't want to put all of his chips on Guyton because Guyton obviously was not doing good at all. So that could be it as well. But what you said, though, I'm like, that's concerning, man. Like like you said, they didn't prep him well enough because they didn't think he was going to be the one that's out there. But at the same time, when you notice that he's going to be out there, they should have started giving him some type of instruction, some type of something. They should have started working with him more. I believe, knowing that that's the guy that's going to be on the field. So that's what I was
See,
thinking.
and that's what I'm like. I don't know, and this is something that you would have to ask the players themselves. Like, was Mike Solari a type of guy that's like, hey, a technique thing here or there, or was he like, all right, these are the concepts that we're gonna run, right? And I need you to run it, not like going to each individual player as a like O lineman, like, hey, your hand was high on here. Like you need to like let's do some drills to work on these hand placements. Let's work on some drills to work off these offhand snaps that you're going to be working on. Let's work on some to get to your marker as quick as possible, so that way you're not lunging and you're bending. I don't know if Mike Solari is more of a like an attack guy, or is he more like, hey, let's wait for the defender to get to us, and then that's when we defend. We figure out where he's at, because it seemed like Terrence Steele, right? He's not more of a because he's not a power guy. He's not a power guy. So he's gonna have to wait to see where to go so that way he can block, not actually go and start attacking, right? For pass concepts. And I think that was part of the reason why you saw some issues with Tyler Guyton, because they were attacking these defensive players as opposed to wait until they got to a spot and start defending, right? You see what I'm saying? And so
Right. Yeah.
now you're seeing him lunge and bend in different ways that he's not used to bending, and now
Getting out of
you're getting
place.
holding penalties. You're getting out of place. You're getting people that are just going around him, right? You're getting all these other things. So now it's up to Connor Riley to be like, look, these are some of the issues that I see with Tyler Guyton. So I'm either A, going to do some things to work with the things that he needs to improve on, or B, we're going to capitalize on his strengths, and then that's how we're going to run things. Are we
Right.
going to
Right.
do the
Right.
push and pull concepts and stuff like that? Are we going to do the zone blocking or power blocking? Like we don't know. Like it's which is great because it's kind of refreshing to see like, okay, we really need to take a step back and look at what these guys do best, and
Right.
we're going to build our offensive line. We're going to build our concept on what these guys do best. And if we have to, like, if one person's not needs some improvement on that, we're going to work our hardest on that. Hey, Duke, this is the stuff that these are the concepts that we're going to run, and here's some of the things that I'm seeing that they're working on. Oh, you also saw that last year as well. Okay, so I'm glad that we're collaborating right now. So like, what do you think we should be able like this? This is kind of what we need to work on. What are some of the things that you can do to work on this during the off season? Oh, that okay, that's cool. So that's what we're going to work on, and that's how you get better as a team. Like instead of like it's like that saying, like, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Right.
Like Connor Riley understands that Duke Manyweather is not trying to take his job, right?
Right.
So he's like, look, I know that you're not trying to take my job, so I might as well just work with you now. So at least now that we're working together, at least I can know that the part of the concepts that I'm trying to instill on these people is going to be worked on during the off season. So that's if you want to find any solace in that, Cowboys fans, find solace. Like, just know that like the Duke Manyweather and Connor Riley are working in lockstep together, and I'm pretty sure that he's giving updates like to Connor Riley, like, hey, like, oh, today, he's getting better at this. Like, he's still having areas of improvement. Like his hand placements is still not as where it needs to be, but his foot movement, his feet movement is going well. So these are the fundamentals that we're working on, and so when they get to training camp, oh, remember when? Oh, why aren't you doing this? I know Duke Manyweather was telling you how to do it one way, so why are you doing something else? Why are you changing it now? You see
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
so now they're working in lockstep, and that's how you get better as a team, right? So, and better as an O line, better as this. All this is working together for the Cowboys' good, so that way they can get better as a team. So that's what I find good in this whole collaboration with Duke Manyweather and Connor Riley.
Well, that's good, but you said you don't know if the offensive coach was his job to do. I think if we pay you as an offensive coach, the title coach, that's your responsibility to be technical on that position and everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Mike McCarthy was paying his old buddies, his golfing buddies, to like coach because that's what they usually do. That's why people thought this was a
right,
lot different and refreshing because Brian Schottenheimer was like, look, I'm not gonna start finding my guys who I worked with in the past. Whoever is the best at their job, we're
right,
gonna we're gonna try to get that guy. Whoever was good at like their pedigree, oh, we're gonna try to get this guy right here. And then I
right,
know that I'm not gonna try to, even though I'm calling the plays, right? I know that I'm not the smartest guy in the room. We're all gonna work together and we're gonna try to figure out what's the best way for this team. Right. So nobody knows which is funny because nobody knows what we're gonna see come September 6th or 9th, the
right,
first game
right.
against Philadelphia. Nobody,
Yeah,
which is also can work to their benefit. So I
yeah.
mean,
That is
I
good.
think, yeah.
That's one thing that we could look forward to. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a little dim, man, coming from last season. It was dim. I
Yeah.
mean, we was like we're gonna get 2 wins, no more than that. That's what we
But like, look
left
at me
last
now, and
season.
I'm like, look at me now. I'm like, I'm still thinking, like, I've been tainted. Now I'm just like, I'm still at 8 wins. I'm still at 7 to 8 wins, and I'm not.
Right,
And this is not like a guru thing. This is based on what I've seen before. Like, it's up
right,
to
right,
them to prove me wrong. Like, I'm hearing all these great things, but I want to see this in action. But
right.
it sounds good,
Right.
But
Right. It does. And it does give you hope. And that's what we need with these Dallas Cowboys. We need hope because, when we came by, we got Dak Prescott out there again. He's looking really good. He said he's in the best health of his life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, okay. You know what I'm saying?
that dude, you can look at it like, and I'm not.
He lost weight. He lost weight, so he probably more nimble.
This
He
dude is
probably
shredded. He's making me go back to the gym. That's all I'm saying. He's making me go back to the gym. You over your 30. Look, now I know that if you're over your 30s and you look shredded like that. Now, granted, he probably has a whole staff, but that doesn't mean that's no excuse for me. I'm going right back to the gym. I was at the gym earlier today, and I was just pumping it out.
right. But
So
that's good. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do and how this O line, pans out coming September. Because we are playing against the you know Super Bowl champions, the first game of the season. You know what I'm saying? We playing
I'll
against
rip it
some
off.
good folks, so we gonna see. You know, and call me crazy. I just think that we're gonna beat them anyway. Even if they're better than us, I just think I don't know. Probably that and the disdain that I have against the Philadelphia Eagles anyway. So I'm sorry, fans, if you're a Philadelphia Eagle, I'm sorry. I can't. But anyway, so but it's good to know just to see that Guyton is going to. I believe he'll be better. How much better? Don't know. But it seems like he's going to be better than than obviously last year, and he has a good for his thought process is really good too. You know, what I'm saying he's being humble. You know, just like you and Jordan said last week, and could be too humbling. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't tell everybody all of it. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to have some things still left inside. You know what I'm saying? Because dealing with our fan base and how we are on every station, and everyone talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and that's just going to give a lot of weight on his shoulders that he's going to have to be dealing with. But I kind of think that's
Dude,
maybe that's
if I'm the ops, I'm going to use that to my advantage. Like, all right, Tyler. One again, you probably need to go back to you need to go back to Duke. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right,
Like,
right.
this is
But
like
hopefully he taking this serious though. But go ahead.
that's what I was saying. Like, hey, you need to go back to Duke. This is the product that you're gonna be showing, and you might as well get your backup out here. Like, this is easy for me. Like,
Wow, wow.
look, you know.
Right, right. Hopefully that is good, man. Hopefully that is good. Um, but what else can what else can we do today? Saying in July, what else can we do? But to hope that everything is going to be moving because they're doing good things in practice. At the training camp, they're doing good things. I mean, stuff that looks good. You know what I'm saying? And the storyline's coming, and it sounds good. So, you put those together, man. We just hope that they can come and execute what's being put out there and what we've been seeing and hearing. Hopefully, they can execute.
I I I hope that they put their players out there for preseason because they're gonna need it. They're gonna need the live reps. They're gonna need to feel like, all right, this is what it feels like to like a live game. Because hey, you haven't worked with this team like before as this coaching staff before, so they're gonna need time to like get antiquated, get with the flow of the game. Players themselves need to get antiquated with the feel of the game, not just also the feeling the coaches coaching them and stuff like that. So that way they can get quicker and quicker. Because the you don't want the first game against the Philadelphia Eagles to be the time where you're like, okay,
This
this
is
is our
live.
first time playing for real
We going
together.
live on
So
that
like,
day.
hopefully, yeah, you don't want to have a dress rehearsal. Your dress rehearsal be against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, so
That's
how many games do we have in training camp this year? It's 3, right? We're not having a full
yeah.
um,
I think
training.
you're
I
playing
mean
with you're
pre.
also training with the Rams too. I think you're also training with the Rams, so that also works good too.
Okay,
Um,
when I say I'm thinking preseason, the
like
preseason
preseason
game.
game.
Yeah, how many
Yeah,
do we have?
3.
3, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Based on that, you putting your starting all 3 games, or you putting them for the last
just one.
game? This one,
No,
would it be the last one, or you be the one
maybe game 2, maybe game 2.
rest game 3? Be
Yeah,
prepared for first game of the season.
because I think it's preseason 1 is really preseason 2, preseason 2 is really preseason 3, and preseason 3 is really preseason 4.
Well,
So
because here's another way I look at it. Okay, sometimes when you like a lot of time when we have a bye week, when we come back, how do we normally play after a bye week? You know what I'm saying? So um, you can look at becoming a game 2 and say we're gonna play game 2, play like a whole half of, or would you play the whole game on game 2 preseason? Or
I
would you?
would play. If it's that way, I will play a whole. I'll play um, a whole quarter preseason 2, and then I'll play a whole series preseason 3.
Whole quarter preseason 2, whole series preseason 3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I can deal with that. Definitely.
It's only
First.
because, yeah.
Because
because
the first
he's putting.
preseason we shedding first preseason game. That's basically what we doing in the first preseason game. We shedding, and
Yeah,
those
pretty much.
yeah. So
You know,
we're gonna have to put them out there on the first game to see what they
pros
do.
and Joes. Yeah,
Exactly.
because you got to figure out, who's the pros, who's the Joes, and I
Right.
think that's every single game, right? But you need to put those players out there for them to see. You can still do it with um those games. Like you still can because everybody's going to need these reps too as well. Like so you're going to need to know who's going to be in and out. So you still can do it with a quarter or 3 quarters or 2 quarters or whatever have you. 4 quarters. You know.
It's just
So you
scary.
should
It's just
really,
scary. It's just scary because having Dak back, it's just a
yeah.
scary thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, do I want Dak out there in a preseason game? You know what I'm saying? His first time back. But then again, yes, you have to do that. You have to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to get
Yeah.
him a game ready, you have to. Much as I will
Hmm.
say, I'll be like, nah, I'd rather keep Dak to the regular season. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't
I
want
would
that dude to get
understand.
out there and get hurt.
I would. Right. I would understand, but I also would think that he needs game reps. That's a whole year you're out. Whole year you're out. He's been out. He's been out since what, November?
Yeah,
Yeah, he needs game reps. I
yeah,
don't care if it's year 10. He needs that feeling.
yeah.
Like okay, this is what it feels like. This is what the
Especially get
game feels like.
right.
You know. So
Especially with with the George Pickens of the world. You know what I'm saying? You got those guys that's coming out there now that he
exactly.
haven't been throwing to. You know what I'm saying? And that wide receiver core. And speaking about wide receivers and catching, saying we got some news about the Dallas Cowboys. OMG. Come on, man. You know how they say, come on, man. I mean, it's sad. I want to be like, I get it. I get it. But I don't. And we're gonna talk about this, and I don't like talking anything bad about the Dallas Cowboys because everyone else. I have a guy at my job, and I get a meme at least out of the week, 4 out of the 5 days in a week. I get memes from him about Dallas hating. He do not is a look relentless. You know what I'm saying? He always giving me stuff about the Dallas Cowboys, right? About oh my gosh, it's like he's a Rams fan, so we go back and forth a lot, but it's a common thing though. You know what I'm saying? So when we go do things that's self inflicted, what can I do, right? But now we're gonna have to talk about it. But as I'm sure you probably know, but for folks that's out there, look, we got Cowboys All Pro returner Cavante Turpin arrested, faces weapon marijuana charges month after signing deal. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? What we got going on here, man? You know,
I mean, what's the Dallas Cowboys offseason without an arrest? This year's Cavante Turpin, last year was Sam Williams. Um, the year
right.
before that was what's his name? Cavante, I forgot what his name was. It's DJ Beats, whatever. The guy that was had the murder charge. And by the way, mind you, he's also got arrested too for you can just look it up because I don't really want to make light of the situation that he's gotten himself into. So, but
Yeah, and as you can see
what was his
here,
name? DJ Beats or something like that. I forgot what his name
right,
was.
right. And this one to say, I got this from Jordan Dejani right here for his article that he placed out there. I just want to let everybody know that's everybody know who we got that clipping for. But yeah, that is I want to say absurd, man. It is. Why would you need a weapon, man? I hear people like, man, in Dallas, man, that you're a superstar, man. You got to protect
Which
yourself.
which is funny because the fact that Texas out of we okay, I'm trying to not sound political here, but we know that it's lawful to carry weapons in Texas.
Right, open
It's not
carry.
like it's an open carry state. So that just tells me that you didn't do the proper protocol that you had to do to register your weapons. Like, riddle me this, right? You know the climate that we're in, right? You know, and I'm not even going to talk about the climate. I want to talk about you being a Dallas Cowboys star, a Dallas Cowboys representative, a Dallas Cowboys members,
Right,
right?
right, right.
You know that the media, uh,
Everybody,
fan base,
everybody.
everybody, cops are gunning for you. Any small infraction that you do, they're it's like this is a big day for everybody. This is like catching a big game. Catching this is like the catching a big kahuna, for everything. And so why, as a high earner, would you put yourself in a situation, a do it, right? And B, put yourself in a situation where you can get caught easily. Why? Why in the world? And I don't partake in the whole marijuana game. And you guys, then you fans can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, but if marijuana is illegal, why are you going to smoke in your car? If you're going to do some illegal activity, do it in your home. They can't go into your house. You probably have a bigger house as enough as it is where they can't probably smell it from the outside. It's so much harder for the cops to go into your house or law enforcement to go into your house because they need a proper warrant than it is to go into your car because all they have to do is find probable cause when you're driving. All you have to do is roll your window down. They can be like, oh, something doesn't smell right. So I'm going to have to search your car. They can't do that at your house. They can do unless if the cops are going to your house, they're going for they have to go for like a legitimate reason. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right.
So they're not going to go in there to be like, let me just search this stuff. They have causes to search your vehicle if deemed necessary. So and on top of that, why are you going to have unregistered guns in your car, right? I get the fact that you, as I guess as the young generation, you always have to stay strapped up, but you make enough money where you can legally be strapped up. It takes not that long to be to be registered.
But here's the thing, though. You don't have to.
Like
I
I don't
mean,
get it.
it's not like this dude has just signed a big deal. He can afford a bodyguard, security. You can. That's legally to carry a weapon. You can be protected if you want to be. I mean, like, but here's the thing, though,
Dak
and
Prescott, I
I
believe, has one.
huh?
Dak Prescott, I believe, has one.
Well,
A guard
well,
bodyguard.
but look,
Yeah.
you're gonna need one, man, because people are out there crazy, and when they know who
Yes.
you are, they will test you or try to take things from you because people are crazy. You have to be. I'm not going to be here and be naive and say you have
Man,
zero
CD Lamb got
reason.
robbed
You
last year.
right, like you have zero reason why you should feel that you need to be protected. That'd be a lie. I'll be traveling the wrong road. It's crazy, as it may sound, to believe that I would not. He would not need to be protected. But there's so many avenues that you can take. And I don't look, and I know he had previous issues with the law, but we're not going to get into that because it's we don't need to deal with that. But the thing is, knowing this already and how easy it is, come on, man, protect yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if you need to, I don't know what the laws, I don't know what the rules is for Dallas Cowboys or what they allowing this to happen anymore on the team. I don't know if that's an issue with that because I don't know the laws. But if those are the things you want to partake in, do it in an area that be smart, dude. You're a celebrity now, dude. There are different games. There are different rules. You know what I'm saying? You riding around in a very high value car, whatever the case is, and you got the windows up, you got smoke all in your car, dude. That it just printed a. Not saying that would happen because I don't want to say that would cause them to get pulled over, whatever the issue is, because I don't know the reason for them to got pulled over and why they got pulled. It could have been just regular speeding, but come on, man. Protect yourself. You got to be smart in that. You got to pick, like everybody said, you got to know who you're hanging out with as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that I wish that someone can just reach out in one of those, and I'm sure they probably have people that just talk to all of the players and like, look, you're a big target now. You're a big target. You want to protect yourself. Um, there's a lot of securities out here. They're looking for opportunities to be hired. Go hire you or someone to go with you in that areas and kind of stay yourself low. You know what I'm saying? Make the noise on the field. Don't make the noise in the city and being arrested, whatever the case is. That
Yeah, and
just
even if you didn't have even if you had previous charts, because depending on the chart, that could have possibly be the reason why he can't get it registered. I understand like that, like we're not going to talk, as you said, we're not going to talk about it. But the thing is, get a bodyguard, or go to a place where you less likely to get robbed like that, right? Like, or find some avenue. And if you are going to be strapped in a car or whatever like that, right? Don't go over the speed limit. Don't have marijuana in the car.
yeah,
They're like, what are you doing? Like, if you don't, if they can't smell marijuana, if they can't smell cannabis at all, they're not going to search the car. Even if you're going past the speed limit, and who knows how much past the speed limit he's going, right? Even if they go
if that's
past the
what the
speed
issue.
limit, they're not going to be like, you know, we're gonna check the car or whatever like that. You know, find ways to where, yes, I get it. I'm not naive to how this world is, and they can just go into your car or whatever like that to search or whatever like that. But now the only thing that you can go off now is if they illegally or illegally searched your car. But if you didn't have that marijuana to begin with, you
Right,
had more of a case to say that, hey, they shouldn't have been searching my car at all.
right.
So I don't know how the situation went down or whatever like that, because there's different things that happen for different people. But don't put yourself in that situation, especially when coming to the fact that you're a high earner, you're a
High
top
target.
top value person, you're a high target of a person, and just do something like to get yourself out of it. Like, have a driver. I don't know. That, yes, that may cost a lot more money, but this is the situation that you're in due to the stuff that you pleaded guilty for in the past. So have stop gaps in place, or have mitigations in place for things like this to not happen. Yeah, you may have to pay a little extra premium to get yourself protected. Like, sorry, but that's just the way how things are.
Yeah.
And so, if we don't want to do that, then don't have marijuana in your car,
Okay.
right? I get the whole fact. Go ahead.
No. Okay. So one good thing is I think both of those charges are just misdemeanors. So that's what I've been told. So hopefully that wouldn't cause
What
him
takes
to.
so long for the Dallas Cowboys to, excuse me, for the NFL players? Like, this is probably gonna, he's probably be, um, you know, he'll probably be fined for this next year or whatever like that, or suspended for this next year. You know, but I don't know. I'm
I
not.
don't know. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would suspend him for that. I don't know. Unless you say the Dallas Cowboys suspend him, that the league won't. I don't think. But maybe the Dallas.
No, the Dallas Cowboys suspending him. Now, Brian Schottenheimer, if he wants to make an example, but you can't make an example yet
Right.
because he wasn't charged. He wasn't found guilty. He was just
Yeah,
got
arrested.
these citations.
Right. Well, but that's what I'm thinking with a misdemeanor. I'm thinking it's just a bad look, and like you said, it could be the NFL. Yeah, I know. I guess the NFL it's in the boundaries the NFL can because it's not a good look on the NFL. But I doubt they would reach out to the level. It's not like he's been in some other serious cases or whatever the case is. But I think with this, I don't know. We will see what's coming. We will see coming soon what may happen because of it. But I don't think this was going to alter or change, Turpin's ability to play this season at all.
No,
I think he
they
still will
still have
come
a
out.
substance abuse policy. The NFL has a substance abuse policy. I mean, but it just takes a while for that to go, because you have to go through the proper channels. Uh, Sometimes. Other times, like Ezekiel Elliott, you didn't have to. But I think it takes a while for like 'cause there's a lot of players that get
Right.
trouble for marijuana,
Right.
which I don't understand. Never mind. I don't.
Well,
Maybe
and it didn't
I
say
don't get
that he
that.
was using it. He
Yeah,
just said he had it. So, what he probably was using it. But I guess you, like you said, they probably had to go through the protocol of well, he had to get tested, whatever, saying see if he had it in his, if they can test and see that he did have it in his blood system or whatever that he'd been actually using or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, they would have to do it quick. But he being arrested, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But um, we were just talking about. I think you guys were talking about Turpin and what he's bringing to the team, being one of the fastest guys, and what can he do with it? He's being you thinking he's
he
being
is.
number three, right? You think he's being number three? Or did y'all say
I think he's
Jonathan
wide receiver.
Mingo?
I think he is wide receiver. He'll be as a gadget guy, wide receiver, and also he's a special teams ace. But
Right?
he's also like some people call him wide receiver three. Some people call Turpin wide receiver three. But I think it's just uh,
Because you say you're better than
George
Topin, right?
Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and then everybody else.
Right. Oh,
I
oh,
think
so
he has some assets that are better than, but like it's I don't know who's better when it comes to like overall. I mean,
out of the threes,
I want to lead towards Cavante Turpin because he has top line speed and he just hasn't been used like he's just a smaller frame, but I mean there's like comparing apples to oranges, if you will, when it comes to the type of receivers that they have. But like, I think he's more now. If you're asking me who's more of a weapon, yes, easily Cavante Turpin's more of a weapon than uh, Turpin is. But
I mean,
I just
then Tobin, yeah.
yes, look, and for you fans out there that are like, hey, um, the NFL shouldn't be suspending people out there because marijuana is not as bad as you think it is. Hey, marijuana might not be as bad, but it's still a policy. So it's up to the players to uphold it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's not whether you agree with the policy or not.
it's a policy.
You still have it's a policy. You're
Yeah,
getting paid. You're getting paid to play. So if you're getting paid to play, follow the rules.
yeah.
Right? It's
You
simple
getting
as
paid
that.
to you getting paid to play under those rules, with those rules. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, hopefully this is something that obviously, they're able to look at him and they be in the office and kind of let him know, and hopefully, you know what though, knowing Jerry, that might have something to do with his clause of the deal too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like knowing his past, that could have something that affected the deal. Like, look, you already know that if this is your past. Now you do something silly, this is going to alter your contract in a certain. We are able to do certain things to your contract if you find yourself in these situations. So I don't know if that's true or not,
If I
but
was look, all I'm saying is this: if Jerry Jones is smart, which he is when it comes to like putting stuff in contracts, because he can be like, hey, like you did this in the past. This is only the way for us protecting ourselves. Like if you didn't do this, we wouldn't have to put this here. But unfortunately, this is what we have, and we have to protect ourselves. And if he signed that contract, which he probably did, because I got to see if there's like some clause in there that says not found guilty by the law, then hey, it's on
right,
you, buddy.
yeah, it's not
So
good. Yeah, it's not good. So, but again, like I don't know what the contract holds as written, so I don't know if that's in there or not. But knowing who Jerry is, I won't put it past that guy from having that inside of that.
I know I would.
Right. So, but it's something else though, man. So, oh man. So, this is good, man. I really appreciate the day dealing with this. Uh, Dealing with all of the good things, and my hopes of getting higher now based on what we're looking for on our O line and what you brought to the table with Duke Manning. I keep saying Manningham,
Weather.
Manyweather. So that is good, man. So man, look, this is what it is. This some Cowboys. We do what we do. Even though we make the news sometimes good, sometimes bad. But you know what? We make the news. That's what we do. We the America's team for a reason. You better believe it. And for all you guys who coming in checking to see what we got going on, hey, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? And also subscribe if you haven't yet. So make sure you do that, and we can go from here and make it good. We're gonna be back again next week, doing the same thing, talking about that training camp to see what we brought to the table, what we're gonna do when September comes, and we're just gonna have fun. We're gonna do it like we do. We're gonna keep it weird. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it straight. We're straightening the fam, keeping it straight, setting it straight with fam. All right, Joshua, I'm out. See you guys, and we out of here. Peace.